101. Movie 101 is created to empower movies itself, and of course, my legendary co-host, Mr. Bob
Hey,
Lemond.
hey, Daniel, how you doing?
I'm fabulous, Mr. Bob, and how about you?
I'm doing all right. We're out of the 100-degree weather and into the 80-degree weather, so that's good, right?
Yes, nothing to complain about.
Nothing to complain about.
Count your blessing first before you complain, people. So, what make
That's
you
right.
busy in the summer, Mr. Bob?
Oh, I had to redo my landscaping in my at my house. I had to redo everything apparently. So that's what my wife was telling me. She's like, "We need to redo everything." I'm like, "All right." I'm like, "What am I gonna say? No, I don't know." So
Happy
we've been
life,
working on
happy
that and
wife.
some other house projects. So
Yes,
yeah,
true.
a lot of house projects.
hmm
Hmm.
So, Mr. Baba, what we gonna talk about today on Movie 101?
The Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts,
Yeah, do you
bolts.
remember it? Because it came out of the movies early. I guess it would be considered a summer release because it came out in
May.
early May.
Yes,
But it's now on Disney Plus. Just this, just now. So just this
just now.
weekend.
Okay,
Yeah, just this weekend. So it just came out on Disney Plus. I happened to watch it today.
nice. How
What
about an
if you're
Amazon?
listening? Whatever today is, you won't even know probably what today is. But it just came out. So
Just came out
um,
now. Okay, now.
yeah, but it was a summer movie, a Marvel movie, also known as the New Avengers. That's not that's kind of a spoiler, I suppose, but they did put that in the marketing whenever they, shortly after they released the movie. So you know, to get
Hmm.
people more interested, right? The New
Yes,
Avengers, because the Avengers is a big
Avengers.
movie. So, and this one was not. This is not. Anything to laugh at. It cost $180 million to make.
Wow.
It made over 190 millions just for the United States and Canada, where you and I are. I'm in the United States. You're in Canada. But worldwide, over $382 million. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Hmm. Not bad, eh?
Yeah, you and I would take a point, wouldn't we? We take 1 percentage point of that, wouldn't
Oh, yes, for sure.
we?
Please give that 1% for us, please.
That's right. Turn 1% over, it'd be perfectly fine.
Yes.
It stars Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova, Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes, Julia Louis Dreyfus as Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, Louis Pullman as Robert Reynolds, David Harbour as Alexei Shostakov, and Wyatt Russell as John Walker, Hannah John Kamen as Ava Starr, and Olga Kurlenko as Antonio Dreykov. Those are all the main ones, right?
Hmm.
Those are all the, and
Yes.
that's a big and there's more people even, right? Even many more people that you know. Wendell Pierce is one of them. He's kind of a really good character actor, and so forth. Yeah, there's David Harbour and Florence Pugh. You just had on the screen there.
Mm-hmm.
But a big cast. It's a big action movie from Marvel, which I don't think it got a fair shake at the movies.
Mm.
Honestly, I mean,
Why is
it's
it?
well, it's. I think that people, I wouldn't say it was panned, but if you look at some of the ratings, 7.2 on IMDb. I don't know if you have Rotten Tomatoes there for where you're looking at. I don't have that one up yet, but people kind of were like, weren't the most enthused by it. I guess it wasn't the best Marvel movie, but I think history will tell us later that it was better than people remember.
True.
You think
Why
so?
not?
Yeah.
Yes, that's
So
true.
yeah, because honestly, it was very funny. David Harbour, especially, who plays the Red Guardian, was very funny in this movie. He had a really good comedic timing and so forth, and really gave what I would say was an excellent performance. I mean, everybody did well, but there's so many characters that it kind of gets lost a little bit, and there was a lot of uh, kind of, what do you want to call it?
Twist.
Marvel Universe humor, right? So
Mm.
Wyatt Russell is, he played Captain America for a little while before they had the new guy take over, and they made fun of that. They made fun of all kinds of stuff, and that's inside the Marvel universe. So maybe it was a little bit too meta for people. But if you like the Marvel superhero movies, then I think you would like it. Sebastian Stan,
Mm.
he's Bucky Barnes. He's got that vibranium arm, and the funny thing is he's standing around in his kitchen and without the arm on, and then he opens up his dishwasher and pulls the arm out and puts it on, which is kind of funny. He was cleaning his arm, which is, it's a very humorous little scene, kind of a throwaway kind of thing. But there's a lot of touches like that where it's a lot of humor that is about the MCU and about the characters involved in it and so forth. Oddly enough, um, the Lewis Pullman, who plays Robert Reynolds, I don't remember him being in much of the press and so forth, but he has a really big part in this movie, and I think they kind of underplayed the fact that he was in the movie, and kind of what his role was, which I think was kind of interesting as well. I don't know if they have a picture of. See, you find a picture of Lewis
Yes.
Pullman. He's not in the. He's
I'm
not even in
trying
that
to.
picture. So yeah, so it was really kind of interesting because his character was very integral to the movie. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking as you're pulling up things here, seeing if I can. He's not in that one. I mean, there he is, right there. He's number two in the cast. Whenever you
Number
scroll
two,
by,
yeah.
yeah, that's him. But he's not in any of the promotional stuff or anything, and he really had a very large role in this movie, and was integral to the plot.
He's the villain or what?
Well,
Spoilers.
that's a good question, Dan.
Spoilers.
He was kind of a villain, and he was kind of a good guy. I think that's what maybe people didn't like about it, was there's not a clear cut kind of a situation, where normally you'd have, like, okay, for Fantastic Four, it's Doctor Doom, right? And for Thor, Loki's always getting in the way, and you have other villains as well. And so, they had I can't even remember the name of them in the Avengers, the space creatures that came through the portal. Um, they were so, you know, unmemorable. I don't even remember what their name was. But Loki was part of that too. But he, it was a little bit, um, back and forth. So he was a villain, and he wasn't a villain. He was their friend, but he, treated them pretty badly. And so, yeah, it was like, um,
The villain and the
it worked.
hero.
It worked for the story, but I think maybe people got put off by that because it wasn't clear cut, right? It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't, Spider Man's going to take on Doc Ock,
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that, or Iron Man is going to take on with Jebediah. Uh, so yeah, there was no, or the Mandarin. There was no clear cut villain for this. It was really even Julia Louis Dreyfus, who was kind of a villain, was kind of not a villain, and I think that's probably what put people off the movie a little bit, is because it was not. super simple.
Mm.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a little long, but I say that about every movie. Let's see, what was the running time on this?
So do you
Two
think
hours
every
and 7 minutes.
two
Yeah,
hours, seven
they
minutes,
could have cut out. They could have cut that 7
2 hours?
minutes really easily, or they could have cut probably about 30 minutes and made it a better movie. But um, it just ran a little bit too long and was a little too much back and forth. But the humor was fantastic in it. I mean, the action sequences were really good. They're top notch. Obviously, Marvel movies are all about that kind of thing, right? Where you get into
Hmm.
these terrible situations, and the other thing was it wasn't there were high stakes, but it wasn't like the world was going to end, right? So I think people get pulled into that trope where it has to be some kind of world ending situation before they really buy into it. This one was kind of localized. So there was, this fortress in the mountains, which there was nobody around there. So that was no high stakes. But our heroes, who ended up being our heroes, were going to die. And then there was some in New York City, where they had to save some people and everything. But it wasn't a very, it was just a couple blocks of New York City. It wasn't like the world. And so the high stakes weren't really there, like they are in other movies. And I think people get drawn in by that. This is really quite a personal movie about um, people's past trauma, which is interesting, and how people who have trouble getting along with others because of their past trauma can finally get along. And so I thought it was really, quite deep for a Marvel movie. They're not known for being overly have a lot of depth to their characters and everything, but everybody did a really good job of portraying, kind of their past pain that had brought them into circumstances, right? So, Florence Pugh playing Elena Belova obviously had a really tough childhood. They talk about that. They talk about, Julia Louis Dreyfus's character Valentina having some problems when she was younger, and obviously Lewis Pullman as Robert Reynolds. The reason that he was even in the situation is because he made a lot of really bad life choices based off of the fact that he had a traumatic childhood. And every character had some type of backstory with trauma, and I thought that was really interesting, because a lot of times it's like the old Captain America, the first Captain America movie with Chris Evans.
Hmm.
He's just a guy that wants to serve his country. He gets the super serum, and then he's Captain America, and he's all good, right?
Hmm.
He doesn't have a lot of qualities that make him overly torn about what's happening, where all these characters were very flawed characters. And that's really, if you go into the comic books for Marvel, that was what set them apart back in the 60s, was that they had all these characters who were flawed, right? Tony Stark, Iron Man, a very flawed character, right?
Mm,
He's
yes,
he's a
successful.
playboy, he's a boozer. He invents this suit partially to keep himself alive, at certain points, and then he goes and does some good things. But he's a multimillionaire playboy, and so he's not the most clean cut, straight shooting kind of guy, like Captain America is. So all these characters had some baggage, and it came out via the story, and it was interesting. It was very interesting. And I don't know why it didn't play better. I mean, everybody's got
So,
everybody's got a backstory, don't they?
because they have no specific villain, as you said.
Yeah, I think that was part of the problem. Yeah, and I think I thought they did a pretty good job of bringing all these things forward and how they portrayed them and so forth. A lot of times, unfortunately, nowadays, and I complain about this uh, at home when I'm watching these things to my wife if she happens to be sitting by me. I'm like, oh my gosh, another
Complaining.
flashback, right? Everything's a flashback, and I'm like, oh, I'm tired of flashbacks.
Hmm.
So they actually used a bit of a different technique rather than just a straightforward flashback to get you the information about these people's, childhood trauma.
So,
I,
Mr. Bob, if you compare Thunderbolts to other MCU films or
Mhm.
movies, which one you can compare?
so what's it on par with? It's probably on par with the um, second Thor movie, which I'm blanking on the subtitle for it, but uh, I'll look it up real quick. I should know this off the top of my head, but I don't. Ragnarok.
Ragnarok.
Yeah,
Oh,
which Thor Ragnarok was a very fun movie,
movie.
right? That
Yes,
was it
true.
was very funny. It was a lot of action, but also, kind of had more of a story arc to it. And I think it's more like that, I think
Hmm.
actually out of all the Thor movies that we've gotten so far, which there's four of the modern, well, we'll call the modern Thor movies, the Marvel Thor movies that Marvel has produced. I think Ragnarok is kind of the best one.
All of
Um,
them.
yeah, so Thor, the first one was good, but it's an origin story. Ragnarok was really a lot of fun, and then Love and Thunder, not so much. Dark World, nah, it was all right.
Getting boring.
Yeah, but I think, yeah, I would compare the Thunderbolts to Ragnarok. If you had to compare the two, that would be, if you had to compare them, then that would be one to compare with. Because it really is a very fun movie to watch. And obviously incredibly well made. I mean, I don't even know how you can spend $180 million on a movie, but they did, right?
Why not give to us the 1%, as you said, right?
I'd be hard pressed to spend $180 million if I had it. So,
Oh, wow.
you know what I mean?
That'd be
I can
awesome.
imagine what you would buy with all that money.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I will help a
So, but
lot.
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I will help a lot of children all over the world for that 180 million for
Yeah,
our
180.
generations to come, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So
So,
but yeah, but I think it was, and they, at the end they say there's going to be another Thunderbolts movie, but we'll see. I mean,
part two.
yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, it looks to me, I don't know what the bar is for Marvel movies, but I think it made enough money. I mean, obviously it made 300 and some $1 million. And it was really, it was a good movie. I mean, it was a fun movie to watch. It's fun to it had a good storyline and everything. Maybe it's a little too serious in parts.
Hmm. Yes.
Um than what most folks wanted, and like I said, it didn't have a clear villain. Maybe they needed a Mysterio, or you just name a villain, a Green Goblin, or who knows what else. Galactus for the Fantastic Four movie.
Yes.
Um, but I thought that was the good thing about it. It was kind of small in the realm of Marvel movies, because it wasn't this big global thing. It was these characters in this situation, and it didn't include a huge number of other people. You know.
Why every Marvel movie, Mr. Bob, there's a specific villain? Why Thunderbolts? Because they are the villains, right?
Well, kind of. Some of them are, yeah, at the
Hmm.
beginning, and but it was almost a why why do good people do bad things kind of situation, and
Hmm.
then why do people do bad things and then are good people. And so I thought it was, if you think about it in one level, it can be really deep. And I guess maybe Marvel movies aren't supposed to be deep. I don't know. That's just my my
Shallow.
take on it. Maybe they don't want them to be deep or something. But
To be shallow.
yeah, they need to be shallow. Exactly. The to me, one of the funnier things was Wyatt Russell. Being the usurped Captain America. I don't know if you remember whenever he first showed up in a previous movie, which I can't remember which one he was in, but he didn't have a beard and he looked like the grandpa from Up in some of the pictures, and everybody made fun of it back then whenever that happened. And so this time he's got a beard the whole time, so that way he doesn't look so funny. And they
Interesting.
even actually made light of it. I mean, they actually did talk about, you know, they talked about that he looked, oh, you got a beard or something, and then he's like, yeah. So they everything came up. It was nothing was held back as far as addressing the various memes and internet things that went around. The other weird thing about Wyatt Russell is I don't know. Kurt Russell is his father, right?
Mhm.
And he looks and sounds so much like
Like
Kurt
him.
Russell.
Wow.
It's scary. I
He
mean, he
will
was
be.
in the movie, and I'm like, it sounds just like Kurt Russell, and that, I mean, that's got to be terrible for him. He's got a famous father that, you know,
He will be the
is,
next. Yeah.
yeah, but he did a great job. I mean, overall, he did a really good job of it. But it's just weird to me that he sounds
Like
uh,
him.
like his father so much.
Mm.
The inflections and everything. So yeah, it's kind of interesting.
I'm interested to the latest Superman. Mr.
Yeah,
Wow,
I
have you
know. I've
watched it?
I've got to catch. I haven't watched it yet. I've
Me
been
too.
trying to catch it at some point here, but I've talked to some people about it, and people really like it. So you know, they like it better than Fantastic Four. So we'll see. We're,
That's a
we're
good
talking about a
one.
Marvel movie. We never talk about DC. We're getting them all mixed up.
Oh yeah. We
Yeah.
never talk about DC, right?
Well, typically here in the past, they haven't really had very good movies.
Yes.
All
Oh,
the Marvel movies have been really, well done, and the DC movies, I mean, Justice League was okay, right? The Flash
Flash.
was
The Flash.
okay. The best one of the DC movies has been Wonder Woman, to be honest with you. The first Wonder
True.
Woman, not the second one, but
Mm-hmm.
the first Wonder Woman movie was great, and then the second one was not.
Mm.
Was
How
not
about
good.
Aquaman?
I didn't really like it.
Me too.
I thought it was okay. I mean, it had its
Not
moments,
bad,
but it was
yes.
not a great movie. It was just okay.
Mm-hmm.
And even the Superman movies with Henry Cavill, not that great. So the new Superman, though, I mean, people really have liked it. So I'm anxious to see it, and I will soon. But I just haven't gotten to it yet.
Yes. But they said that the latest Superman did not earn that much comparing for the previous Superman.
I don't know. That's a good question. Let's see what it said. Let's see what the IMDb says about that.
Yes. Let's see.
Uh, they say that the new Superman movie earned. I'm getting there. It cost
500, I
225
think.
million. It
5
earned 349 million
million.
in the U.S. and Canada, and 608 million worldwide. That's pretty good.
Not bad.
That's really good. I mean, think about that. That's
Mm,
more than double the budget. So, and then
yes.
what was the Man of Steel would be the other one, right? The one they're
Yes.
too.
Henry
Let's see what.
Cavill.
Yeah, I think it made more, but you have to remember though that you didn't have Man of Steel was over 12 years ago,
Yes.
and
Twelve
it was
years ago.
225 million to make, 291 million box office, and 670 million. So actually,
You're
it didn't
saying?
do better.
Oh.
It cost about the same, which means the new Superman was cheaper because 225 million 12 years later is a lot. less
More
money than 225 million from
today.
2013, and it didn't really make that much. It made more money, so they should be happy.
Yes. They're looking for another Superman for sure.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have another movie. Definitely, definitely.
Well, Mr. Bob, about Thunderbolts, are you recommending
Oh
this?
yeah, I think definitely. I think if you, especially, if you have a free afternoon, you should watch the Thunderbolts. It's a fun action movie. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna see crazy stunts and a lot of action. And I think the story is much better than people have, uh, you know, than the critics are giving it credit for. I think that maybe it it was a little too for its humor. It was a little too serious, if that makes sense. It was very humorous, but they threw in the serious stuff, and I think people, much like they want a singular, villain, the seriousness of it was maybe a little too much.
Yes. Because you're a comedian, so that's why you like it being humor.
I do like the humor. I think they did a great job. David Harbour did a fantastic job as Red Guardian and being. And Florence Pugh was funny. I mean, everybody was funny in their own way, but I think David Harbour kind of stole the show as
Hmm.
far as the humor goes. He was very funny. They have a little closing. I'll give you a spoiler. The
Yes, I
after
like the
credits. So
story.
they show some credits and then they show a little clip.
Always does.
It was
Yeah.
a little clip of David Harbour in a grocery store, and the Thunderbolts had saved the day, and they're on the box of Wheaties cereal,
Mm.
and he was trying to get this lady. He's like, "Oh, maybe you want to buy these Wheaties," and he was holding the box up by his face, like, "Hey, I'm on the box," but he didn't say it. And anyway, the lady just thought it was kind of weird, but it was a funny scene. I mean, he really did a good job with it. It just really silly
Mm.
in credit scene.
Who directed it, Mr. Bob?
Uh, I've never heard of them, to be honest with you, but
But he's a
the
good
director
one.
for Thunderbolts was Jake Schreier,
Sure.
Scheier. And let's see what some of his other ones were in the past. He did a movie called Paper Towns, Robot and Frank, which I haven't watched that, but it's supposed to be a good movie. Minx. Uh,
So he
oh,
did a
he did
lot.
some. He's directed some of the Skeleton Crew, which is a Star Wars TV, streaming Star Wars show.
Mm.
He directed Beef, which was on Netflix. Um, so what else? Not sure. He did some Justin Bieber videos or something. So yeah, I mean he's fairly new. It looks like. So I don't think that this is going to help him be any get anywhere. But he did a.
He did a
I
great
wouldn't
job.
say the direction of the movie was all that interesting. Um, you know, it wasn't outstanding. I'll put it that way.
Mm.
So,
So
but it
if
was it was good enough.
good enough, that's
Mhm.
awesome. So if you will be the director, would you put a specific villain?
See, I like this. I wouldn't. I think that this is even to me. This is better because then you never know what's going to happen, right? Whenever you set it up and and it's just Superman and Lex Luthor or Spider Man and Doc Ock, you know what's going to happen. They're going to fight at least once or twice. Other things are going to happen, and it gets to be kind of typical. Where this is not typical at all, and I think that to me is better than being your typical thing. Now, the audience apparently, was not as thrilled about it. It seems like, but um, I think that's a better story because then everything's new and fresh. You don't know which directions it's going to go. You don't know what's going to happen, and you can have the fun and the action and so forth. And then it takes strong 90-degree turns or 180s, and you get in the mix. So
Mm.
I think maybe if it was a bigger story, the stakes were higher, people may have been a little more invested in it, since it was really kind of a small movie. I mean, the movie wasn't small. I mean, the environments that they were in were fairly small. Then I think they're, people are like, oh, they're not saving the world. They're just saving like 10 people on the street. Who cares? It's like, but
Who
that, it
cares?
matters.
Yes, true.
They're saving themselves. That was the other thing. They had to save themselves
First,
first.
than others.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I
Awesome.
think so. I think that, but that's, the hard part about being a Marvel movie is people have these expectations, right? And
Yes.
so this was not what it was expected. This is not your rubber stamp cookie cutter Marvel movie, and I think that's why it didn't hit the same way. And they keep, like, they brought Robert Downey Jr. back as Doctor Doom. It's like, that's the realities are that's not the reason people watch these things. I would hope not. They
Yes.
watch them because they have good characters that have real issues that they're all trying to work on, and this movie has all that.
Mm, yes. Why not just take Mr. Bob as a Doctor Doom? Come on.
Yeah,
That make,
I'll take over because
yes.
the Fantastic Four movie didn't do very well either.
Try. Do you think they did an experiment to Thunderbolts?
Maybe
In
maybe
what
a little
way?
bit experimental because it was a bit of a different movie. Could be.
Hmm. They
Yeah,
changed a
could
little
be.
bit, right?
Yeah, I think they're seeing where people wanted to go, right? But maybe that's not good though, because I really wish it would have done
Better.
better. Yeah, because
Hmm.
I think that's the way they should go.
But
Ooh,
anyway, for
Fantastic
sure.
Four didn't even hardly make as much as the Thunderbolts. Look at that.
Oh my goodness, really?
Let me look here real quick.
How is it?
382 and Fantastic Four made 494. Not that much more.
Not that much. Comparing
Yeah.
to Black Panther, right?
Right, yeah. Black Panther.
Black Panther, they love it. And
That was a good movie
X-Men.
because it was so different, right? That was a good
Yes.
movie.
So
I'm gonna go
different.
see what Black Panther made now. Gosh, you got me so curious here.
Curious, yes.
Yeah, okay. Black Panther made. Oh yeah, Black Panther made $1,349,000,000.
Rich. Because the black
That
people
is a hit,
supported.
right? That's
Yes.
a big hit,
A
and it
big,
was a
big
good
hit.
movie, and it was different,
Mm-hmm.
just
Really,
like the
really big
Thunderbolts.
difference. Big difference. And
Yeah.
Thunderbolts, they make experiment. Okay, let's do this.
Well, they
Let's.
still made money, so they should be good.
Yes. Please give us the 1%, please.
That's right. That's right. Just kick over 1%.
Give us
There's
the
other people that
1%.
like this movie, Disney or Marvel. Come on. Disney owns
Yes.
Marvel, so it is Disney. So yeah. Let's have the 1% and a couple of free vacations to
Freebies.
Disney properties.
Yes. Disneyland. Give us the Disneyland. The famous legendary Disneyland.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Bob, another word for Thunderbolts before we go on. Say goodbye.
Everybody should watch it. You can
Yes.
do it.
Please do. Okay, Mr. Bob, see you next week.
Take care, Daniel. We'll come up with another one next week.
Yes, more to come, people. See you soon.